I'm Melissa. I'm studying fashion design, and other than fashion design, I love fine arts. It just amazes me how versatile everything is, and how it's just such a broad industry. Like, you can work in something really commercial. You can also buy the most expensive $60,000 gown. I just kind of pinned everything here, and I just started out with just this little square, and then I just kind of played around with it on the table, see how this fits, how everything fits. And then I just started kind of like going with it, and I tucked these kind of yarns hanging down. This like reminded me of children playing around in the sprinklers when they're younger, and they're just like out there having a good time, very carefree, very just like wanderers of the world. And these just like reminded me of just like water sprinklers, and the colors are very youthful and just like not, I mean, simple in just a childish kind of way. Not simple as in like minimalistic, but yeah, I just kind of like, I wanted it to look carefree, but at the same time I can't just have it look crazy. So you have to have that balance of being technical with things but also being creative. I would say, I guess like when big designers, like there's been a lot of like things happen where big designers copy other people's work and then they take credit for it. Like there's this designer called Ralph and Victor, and they were hiring interns for the summer, just, you know, college students or graduating college students. And this college student, he submitted his portfolio to intern there, and he was rejected. And a season later, he found his design on like their like runway. So like the designers there stole his idea as he was applying as an intern, and they implemented it in their design, and that was like a whole thing. And just like, you know, a lot of commercial designers like Zara, H&M, they always steal like big designers or even small designers like ideas. I mean, you know, like I totally understand that like every idea comes from another person's idea, like totally makes sense. But I think there's like a certain point when you're like, this is kind of just like copying. It's not like getting inspired. I guess that's what like one of my biggest pet peeves, because I'm like, what if that happened to me? Like, I'd be mad. I'd be like, I invented that or whatever. And then just like, I guess another thing, I'm not a big fan of Gucci. I know everyone loves Gucci right now. I just don't like Gucci. It's just like too much. Like, we get it. You did the sequins, you did the tigers, you did the green and red stripes. Like, it had its time, but it's just like lived on way too long, and Gucci's just like, he needs to chill out a bit, because like everyone is like wearing it, which is great, but like it's time for the next thing. It's time for the next trend. But like, I don't get really like mad, or not mad, but just like be like, oh, I don't like that trend, or I don't like that style, because like, I don't know, you can always take inspiration. I'm pretty like open-minded with my style. Like, I've gone through like every single style phase, from like goth to Lolita to like bohemian hippie to like surfer to done like kind of like a chola look. I've done it, I've implemented everything, and like all of that, it always like peeks through what I wear now. And now I just wear like the brightest of colors and the most obnoxious things you can find. And like, that's just like, I don't know, my style now, I guess. Alexander McQueen, Libertine, Valentino. Valentino holds a special place in my heart. It like, they don't do great collections all the time, but it's just like, I still like it. What else do I really like? Scotch and Soda, which is like a contemporary brand. It's not like anything fancy, but I do really like Scotch and Soda. This brand called Shrimps, they're like a British brand. They're known for making the best colorful faux fur coats, and they're just like super bright and colorful and like really fluffy. I really like them. Oh, also one of my favorite is Molly Goddard. You know, having a good time is like having coffee and like eating desserts and pastries and going to the park and getting high. My degree or my craft, like, it's all physical. Like, I don't do anything digitally. I make physical things, so it just like, it takes a long time to like develop. Like, it's only the second week and I have like all of this development, and I still have to do like a ton of more development, you know, so it just like takes so much time to do all of this. So, you know, usually the weekends I'll like go chill, or like I'll go to the Stockton garage and then go get high over there, and it's a good time. Love watching Project Runway. I think it's great. I have a lot of designers that I still follow, because like one of my favorite designers, her name is like Helen, I don't know her last name, but she is one of my favorite contestants on Project Runway, and she's really like gothic but still very like editorial and like really edgy with her things, with her designs. And I think it's like a really cool concept. I saw like an article that it's really difficult for designers to get jobs after they come out of that show, because it's like reality TV, and then people like look at down the resume and they're like, that's not like, I don't know. I guess it's not like credible to, you know, be on a reality TV show and go into like the corporate world. But like, I love watching, and I get like, you know, I get like a special place in my heart for that one designer, and I'm like, oh, and I think it's really cool. I used to like want to be on Project Runway. Like, I get it. I get cultural appropriation, because like I've seen it with my eyes, and like Hispanic, I'm from LA, so like it's like a huge like Hispanic community, and I grew up with a lot of like just people wearing like big hoop earrings and big braids, and just like having their flannel shirts open, like the more like ghetto style, which I think is like both like Hispanic and like black influence. And now how like all these white girls are wearing it, and now it's like a cool and a trendy thing. Like, I used to get made fun of for like a lot of my baby hairs, because I just have like a lot of baby hairs. And like I've been wearing hoop earrings for like a really long time. So like I get it. I think sometimes people like call out appropriation for like no reason. But I think like I remember a couple seasons ago, Marc Jacobs did a collection where he had like all his models wear really colorful dreads, and a lot of people like talk shit on that collection. It's like, how could you do that? Because he didn't call his influence, influence for his collection like from black culture or from like African culture, like anything. He's just, I don't remember what it was about, but and he had very, very, very few like colored models, like women of color on his in his model lineup. So a lot of people were like, what are you doing? And then I think he was like, I don't see color, and then people are like, shut up. So yeah, like I get it. Like, I would never make something from like somebody else's culture and be like, no, I wasn't influenced by that culture. Like, I think it's cool. I think it's definitely like okay for designers to make things from like Chinese culture, or like Mexican culture or black culture, but like you have to be like, this was inspired by black culture, that's why these people are wearing this thing. The hardest part about being a fashion designer is like people not taking me seriously, like as in fashion design isn't like a real career. I guess that would be one of the hardest parts, because like I get that a lot from like my family and stuff. So I guess that right now is the hardest part about being a fashion designer. But like just in general, I think like how fast the fashion world works. It works two seasons ahead. So like everything is being made now will be in stores like a year later. So it's just like you always have to know like what's the next best thing. I love fashion design, and it's like not glamorous at all to how I feel like the entire world sees like fashion design, as like models and like after parties and hair and makeup and like whatever. And like that's like a part of it, sure, like but that's not like what it is at all. Most of the time it's, you know, doing this, cutting your fingers when you're trying to sew something, like dealing with models not showing up to your photo shoot or to the runway, having shoes in the wrong size, like you're trying to zip up a model in her dress and the zipper breaks. That happened to me once. I did a fashion show and I was dressing a model. It wasn't like my dress, it was like a dress that I had rented out for this model to wear, and like the zipper broke and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl needs to go out on stage in like 5 minutes. Like, what am I supposed to do? So we had like the model, like I had to safety pin it, and the model had to like walk like this to like hide the seam. It was like, you know, you gotta think like really quick on your feet. But you know, I definitely have nights where I'm like sewing and crying at the same time. Or like I've been in class and I like cried in my entire lunch break, and then I go out and then I go back to class and I'm like so low-key crying, like sewing but also crying, hoping no one notices. It's definitely happened. It takes a lot of work, and most of all it takes a lot of patience with, especially when it comes to sewing and just developing your own designs and stuff. It's all like trial and error. Try it out. If you know, that's something that I've learned. Like if I think of like a random thing, I'm walking anywhere, I'll like write it on my phone immediately, or else I'll like completely forget about it. There are rumors that Anna Wintour, editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, that she's leaving, and I feel like when she does leave, or like if she's actually leaving, that's gonna change the fashion industry, because she's been like at Vogue for like a billion years, and they made a movie off of her, The Devil Wears Prada. That's like iconic. So I don't know. That's I guess that's all I have to say. Yeah.